here to the bamboo site. We're gonna see how things go with the auger bit I got. You know, the auger bit that I got, you know, it broke, and then I had to have it welded back, and it's cast. So I don't know how good it's gonna hold or not, but we're gonna find out. If it doesn't want to hold, then I know I need to buy another bit, because there ain't no point in having an auger if you ain't got no bits. So I guess. So another thing too that happened yesterday that I didn't even get video of. Y'all saw me go look at this job, another lawn mowing job, you know, maintenance job in my neighborhood, and y'all saw those two. But there was another job I went and looked at too, that's in my neighborhood. When I got home, as soon as I got home, she had left a bunch of DMs on the Facebook. So, and it's grinding a few crepe myrtles down. You know, it's on a pretty nice yard. So got that, and it's about 4 or 5 of them. I'm gonna have to be real careful in that front yard. It's about 4 or 5 of them over there. And they're pretty big, man. I mean, well, they're sprouts from a bigger one. So I'm just gonna grind that down, grind 3 or 4 of them down, 5 of them down, whatever. And then I'll have Trev, you know, get the ground back right. But I can't really hardcore dig or nothing. That's why I'm using the grinder, because there's no room, and y'all will see it. I didn't get any video over there, but I'm over there tomorrow for 1400. So grind out some stuff in the front yard, and maybe today when I get done I'll ride by there. Grind out stuff in the front yard, and she's got a row of debris in the back from like 20 years where they've just piled stuff up behind their fence. And this is where the upsell came in. When I walked back there, she said, I got a tree back here I need somebody to get up. And it was a tree, you know, a little pine tree laying on the ground, not a big deal. But when I walked around behind there, I saw all that debris. You know, it's a long row of it going all the way across the back of her property. I mean, the back of her fence. Her property goes on down into the woods, but that's not where it's at now, and that's where she wants it. Well, what I told her is, I said, well, you got this in the front, and I was trying to price it because I knew it wasn't going to be an all-day job, you know, to do the grinding. So I was thinking, man, you know, to grind those, and they're not really stumps, they're crepe myrtles. They're really not trees. They're not solid nothing. You know, the grinder will hit that stuff and just rip it, you know, snatch it out. When it don't grind, it grabs and throws out. So it won't take long to do that, maybe an hour and a half or so. And I was thinking, okay, well, I'll charge her $500 for that. But then when I went to the back, see, people, customers and potential customers, they don't know what you're capable of out here. They have no idea what you can do with the machine or whatever, if they have never, you know, they don't know you or whatever. So that's been like, well, the thing. So when I was back there, and I said, well, you know, yeah, I'll get that pine tree up, and I was thinking, okay, how am I gonna charge for that? And then I said, well, oh, you got all this stuff. I said, so would you be interested in doing something with all this debris back here? She said, oh my God, Ray, that would be so wonderful. What can you do with it? I'm like, I can pick it up, take it on up in the woods. She said, really? I said, yeah. I said, see, now that changes everything. And that's why, I mean, I'm very candid with the customer. I said, that changes everything. That changes everything, because now we can do a day over here and then do whatever. And she said, how much is the day? I said, 14. I said, so basically you'd be at 500 or 600 on the stumps, and then 800 or 900 on the brush, or however you want to look at it. And she says, you can move all this? And I'm like, yeah. And it's a pretty good bit of debris, I'll admit, but it ain't nothing, you know, for the grapple bucket. She said, done, deal. And I'm like, okay, let me get home and schedule it. He said, when can you come? I said, let me get home and schedule it. So then I got home, I got to looking at everything, and I'm like, you know, I'm going to do it tomorrow. So I called Trev. Trev said he'd come to work tomorrow. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Pretty good little job, I think, you know. Let me back up a little bit because I know I got these trees right here. I don't want to hit the truck. But that, it's going to be, you know, $1,400, man. Probably 5 or 6 hours. About the same as usual, but it's not going to be it's not going to be as hard on the machine. The first thing I'll do over there is I'll go over there and grind the stumps, so I can have the stump grinder plugged in before it'd be the first thing I use over there. And that's going to be one of them ones, and all these, and I'll show y'all all these crepe myrtles. They're in beds. They're in the beds, you know. And so I'm going to reach over into get on the grass and no turning, and reach over into the beds and just grind them out, and have Trev standing there, you know, with a board or something, holding it or leaning on it or something, to where it doesn't shoot chips everywhere. And then he could smooth everything out when I go to the back and start with the grapple bucket, you know. She got a lot of dead pines and stuff back there too, so I'm gonna have to make a trail to the back. And I told her that, I said, you know, I'm gonna push over some of these dead pines and stuff. They're broke off and all of that, so you know, it's gonna be $1,400, man. So, you know, I don't have to leave my neighborhood. I like it. I like it a lot. I will pay out labor, but I haven't paid any labor all week, so, you know, of course I ain't made no money all week either, other than the little change that I made on that stump the other day. But I got work, man, so I'm going to get that job done, because I'm afraid she's a pretty proactive type person, and you got to kind of understand people's personality, especially when you don't know them. You know, she likes to get out there in the yard herself, and she had a shovel and pick out there, was fixing to start digging those things up anyway. So if I put it off for 2 weeks, she might just go on and do it, right? You know, it might not, she ain't gonna be able to dig them out well, it'd be a lot of work, but I don't put anything past people that stay at it. She'd go out there every day for an hour and chip away, and she'll get them, you know. But yeah, so over here, I'm gonna grab the other camera and put it in this machine with me, and grab the tripod, and we're gonna get these these 3 trees down, and then we're gonna try to dig some holes and see what happens. And you guys are gonna be with me. I got the tripod. Okay, so I'm over here. Y'all saw a piece of this yesterday. I'm not gonna really worry about these right here right now. What I want to do is I want to get these 3 trees out of the way. I don't know what it's going to take to really get them. Well, I didn't bring the grinder or the brush cutter, so I brought the grapple, because if I brush cut, if I use my grinder on these trees, it's going to make a big mess. The best way to do this is to push them over, get the root ball out, and carry them over there and put them on my line over there that I got all the other debris at. If I cut them down, then I've created more work. But I may have to, because, you know, well, I don't know how easy they're going to be to come out of the ground. They may push better that way. If I can get them going that way and then get on the other side of them and bring them back this way, that'd be okay too. There's nothing to hit. Yeah, they're pretty big, man. That's a pretty big root right there, dude. You know. But if I have to end up cutting them off, then we can grind the stump or whatever. If I'm him, I would want to get rid of the stump so I can put my trees here. But I know I'm going to be back over here this weekend. Today is just for me to try to get the trees down and to see if my auger will drill some of these holes and not break. But I don't know what it's going to take to get that. They're pretty big though. It looks like that one right there, if I push it that way, it'll go. And it ain't gonna do no damage on nothing. If I push this one that way, it ain't gonna do no damage either. That might be the only way I can push it. But you gotta be super careful about digging, because right along in here, the water line is right up against the road right there. So yeah, so I'm not going to want to be all up in here, because it's not very deep. I don't know how deep it is, but I don't want to be tearing the ground up right here. But we're going to start with that one right there, and then you know, I can always just cut them off and then bring the stump grinder when I come this weekend. So either way, this right here got snatched off by a storm. So Okay, y'all, so y'all pretty much see the destruction, and this is doing it right, digging them out. Now, we know I could have cut them off at the ground, but if he's going to run cedar trees down through here, and they're sweet gums are always going to come back. If you ain't, now I could have grinded them with the stump grinder, but I didn't. I'm not really. Well, I didn't want to. I wanted to dig them out. I thought they'd be a little bit easier to dig out, but you know, but keep in mind, I dug out over 40 stumps in here, and this whole area right here was all stumps from where the tree people came in here and putt wooded it. But I dug out, and they were these holes, these things that I'm digging up, they were a lot deeper than, and I did that with a Bobcat T190. So so now it's just, this is where you wish you had somebody on the ground that just like Bo, you know, having Bo. If I had Bo over here, well, it'd be a whole lot more done. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick up all this stuff right here, throw it in that bucket. I'm going to use the tooth bucket to grade all this right here, and then when I get done grading it, I'll try to, you know, chunk some of these sticks, you know, in the holes. But some of this stuff you just can't, you know. Yeah. Okay, y'all, so I got it up, man. Got all three of the trees gone. It looks pretty good. The grade wasn't great to begin with, but that's a lot better. And all that is, well, you can dig holes. I didn't put all the dirt back into everywhere because it was going to take, it's clay and it's just sticky. So and I had to be careful in the ditch right here, because you see where these white pipe pieces are? There's water line all in there, and it ain't deep. So we'll let this simmer, but I could actually get a little bit of that right there, and push it into the low spot right there. But let's just see. I'll be back over here on Saturday, so you know, I'm going to... yeah, man, y'all saw what I got done over there. You know, getting paid every day, man. You gotta love the skid. So, you see, even though I had to pick up some sticks and roots and stuff, I mean, it wasn't hard work or nothing, you know. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to eat something. I'm gonna have to eat me a damn fried chicken today, man. Sorry, I'm trying to stay off that shit, man, but I can't, man. I don't have time to go home. I mean, I don't have time to go home, unload everything. But I'm, you know, I haven't been home since I found out they wasn't gonna pay. So now, when I get home and settle in and everything, you know, I'm gonna have heartburn. I know that. I'm letting that shit eat me up, though, y'all. You know, I'm letting it. I gotta stop that. Stop it, Ray. Just stop it. It'll be a minute before I get over that. Whether I get the money or not. I just don't like the way they're handling me, man. Probably not gonna get the money, because I'm probably not going to be willing to go through everything it's going to take for me to get it, because I don't have time, you know. You know, once I get over my anger, then you know. But you guys know I post the videos. I try to live right. I try to do the right thing. I'm transparent as I can be about everything. I try to treat people right. I try to, you know, do everything correctly, and when I don't, I have to pay the piper. And you know, and you guys see me do that all the time. But this is a one instance where, you know, I'm having to pay the piper, and I ain't even, you know, I haven't even done anything except get a new windshield. You know? Ray, quit crying about it. It's only $2,400. Well, give it back to me then, since that ain't nothing then. See, I couldn't run my business like that. You know, I just couldn't do it, man. I gotta sleep at night. And, you know, knowing I done beat somebody out of $2,400, straight beat them, boy. Deuces.